What's going on, guys? How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Joe. Welcome to Best Card Breaks. We have break number 87 of 2023 Bowman Chrome coming at you in the hobby format. 12 boxes, a lot of color, hopefully, and some autos. So let's have some fun. Let's get this thing rocking about and rolling. Alright, let's do this thing. 2 boxes at a time. Let's have ourselves some fun. Boxes 1 and 2. Rolling out. Alright, let's have some fun. Come on. Cassis, Almeida, Ethan Salas, Harris, Shimmer, Chase Young for the Tigers. And our first auto, Yorel Ortega out of $4.99 for the Twins. Josh Young, we got Eugenio Suarez out of $4.99. Joey Weimer, Matty McLean, Cody Senga, and blue. Oh, wee! Angels, that's a nice one. A little blue out of 75, Shohei Ohtani on the WBC. Very nice for the Angels right there. I'm sure that's got to be, I haven't looked at what those really go for, but I'd have to imagine something all right, considering he's in a Japan uni. Volpe, Michael Bush, Carter Young. And Ronald Acuna Jr. out of 99 on the WBC. 2 really solid WBC names, if you ask me. Gerardo and Cerna. Luis Cerna. Ethan Salas. Adley, Bo, Miller, purple shimmy, Brooks Lee. Will Warren base ink for the Yanks. Jordan Walker. And Gennaro Miller. Number out of 125. Looks like Jazz Chisholm. James Outman. And Rainer Arias. A little Warren action. Bo Naylor, Adley, Elijah Green out of 499. Check and make sure that wasn't an image variation. Purple ink, Dario Barrero out of 250 on the purple auto. Going out to the White Sox. Nice Dario. Freddie. Felton Celestin. And yellow, Gabriel Gonzalez out of 75. Sebastian Walcott. All right, box 3 and 4. Bowman draft release date has been announced. Coming up pretty fast. Should be a fun release. Looks like Max Clark has ink. Wyatt Langford. Looked like Skeen had ink as well. I know there was some concern with the Panini exclusivity that he and Dylan Cruz had, but looks like he's still got autos. Dylan Cruz obviously likely to be saved for Bowman, which is what they usually do. So, but should be a fun product. A lot of solid names. Alright, boxes 3 and 4. 3 and 4, let's rock and roll. Let's rock and roll, rock and roll. Alright, Riley Green, Gunnar Henderson, your rookie of the year. Ariel Castro out of 199 on the Fuchsia Shimmer. And Speckle Brett Wisely going out to the Rays. Out of 299. Yossi Galan, Edward Julien, Brayler. Nice Brayler out of 299, non-auto. Going out to the Rays. Little Brayler Guerrero. Derniche, Judge, Zach Neto, Roderick, Yelly, Gonzalez. And nice Adley Rutschman image variation going out to the Orioles. Nice Adley Rutschman. It's weird because Gunnar won Rookie of the Year, but I still feel like Adley Rutschman is slightly the face of the Orioles. Brian Rincon, base ink for the Phillies. Yes, I still feel like a lot of people, when they think Orioles, they think Adley Rutschman. What's happening, Brian? And Manny Machado, wave, numbered out of 100. Going to the Padres. Manny. James Wood, True Blue, Vladimir Arestitoyo. And looks like we got an out of 50. Jack Pineda, gold mini diamonds. Well, you're old. I'm just messing. I'm talking more like this generation of people. I agree. Ripken should always be the initial face of the entire franchise. Ezekiel Tovar, Ascensions. I mean, what he did in his time. I mean, no one's ever going to touch what he did in his time. Gunner, Luis Almeida out of 499. As far as the games played and everything like that, that's just, I think it's an unattainable mark at this point in this day and age of baseball. But I'll tell you what, though, that Orioles team now, man, they are definitely changing the narrative in Baltimore. Roderick Shimmer, which is good. Clark Elliott, not Zach Geloff. Clark Elliott. Base. And green. Jacob Reimer out of 99. It's kind of like there's a lot of people that... when you think like San Diego, they think Tony Gwynn, Ethan Salas, right? Tony Gwynn was the Padre, right? I feel like I'm losing my mind here because I feel like because Puckett was. Oh, did he really? I didn't know that. I didn't know Clark played at Crystal Lake. I'm assuming what? Crystal Lake. Which one's the better one? Central? Because they've got two, right? One of them's like the Gators or something, and they're usually better than the other. All right, box 5 and 6. Was it Crystal Lake South and Crystal Lake North? South, I think, is the better of the two. Oh, there you go. South. The South, I think, is the Gators or whatever. And I only know because I when I first moved out here, I played travel ball out in Crystal Lake. So I played with a lot of guys that wound up going to high school at those schools. Well, that's cool. I did not know that he was a local kid out of Crystal Lake. I have a feeling we'll wind up getting quite a few locals here at the shop when draft drops with Max Clark being in that product. He is very much known in this area, being a local kid here. But we'll see. The last local type guy that I really followed was Jared Kelnick, because I lived up in Wisconsin when Kelnick came out of Westosha. And wish I would have collected some of his cards early on. Got in before the hype, but never really thought about it. He kind of has had a rocky big league career. A lot better this year, but still relatively rocky. Also still extraordinarily young. I think he's like barely 22. So when you look at guys like Adley and some of these older rookies, it's like, you know, you have guys that have been in the league for 2-3 years that people just throw shade at. Jace Young. And it's like they're 3 years younger. Kristen Monroe. Yoendry Vargas. Ariel Castro. And Davison De Los Santos. That was a Jordan Walker rookie. Davison De Los Santos out of 199. Rayner. Got somebody on a motorcycle outside just letting it rip. Munoz, Patrick Bailey, Paul Goldschmidt, refractor out of 499. Tamaris, James Outman, and I see A's colors. Clark Elliott out of 299. Speckle. There's another Clark Elliott for you, Brian. Morel. How about the off season so far? The coaching changes. Vladimir Restituto at a 150. Coaching changes. The Shohei Ohtani sweepstakes. It's going to be wild off season. And Orange Shimmer, Yossi Galan. I'm actually super excited. They are signing Pat Murphy to become the next manager, which I'm super stoked for. I'm a big time internal hire guy when it comes to like management positions, and Murphy's been the bench coach since like 2016 or 17. So I'm pretty happy with the hire. I think it's going to be awesome. He obviously has the trust of the players. They've been around him for years. So I'm pretty excited for it. Hunter Brown out of 499. I was honestly, as a Brewers fan, I know this sounds kind of dumb. Vinny Pasquantino out of 299. I was ready for a manager change. I was ready for it, personally. Council didn't do anything wrong. It's just sometimes you're stuck in this stagnant path. And sometimes it's roster, sometimes it's anything. Nice Michael Harris. Image variation. Honestly, I think it's not going to work out for the Cubs, personally. I think, one, the way they handled the situation was horrible. Nobody even knew that David Ross was being fired. And Juan Corniel out of 299, Speckle. And then out of nowhere, they signed, Council to the largest manager contract in the league. I truthfully don't think it's going to pan out too well for them, but you never know. The guy that I'm not gonna act like the guy's a bad manager. So, Jamar Johnson out of 250. Welvin Francisca. So, and the Cubs are going to have more money to spend on free agents and players, and if that means that Council makes those players want to come and play there, then job well done for them. I think that's kind of what it boils down to. I know Council kind of said he wanted to. Council said that he wanted a new challenge and kind of felt like he had already accomplished things, and I think part of it was just the spending power and potential of the Brewers. They don't really spend. They don't spend. So, you know, sometimes I'm sure he felt handcuffed. It's kind of the way it goes, though. So, you go from the smallest market in baseball to like the third largest. So, and yes, Milwaukee is the smallest market in baseball, believe it or not. You can look it up. So, good for him. He got paid. No shade to him at all. Don't wish him any ill will. I have this gut feeling it's not going to work out in the positive for what they're trying to do. I think the Cubs are going to get caught soon. If they go a certain route, they have young talent, but I think they could get caught in a trying to spin, and then they spend and they wind up being the Angels. It's just you have to spend in the right areas, and if you don't, you know. And if I'm a club looking baseball wise, I think Ohtani is kind of a tough sign in my opinion. I think he's an incredible player. Don't get me wrong, but if you're signing Ohtani without potential to get other players, I think it could be a dangerous signing that pinholes. So that, you know, you want it paying so much for one guy, and if you're not willing to go into that luxury tax enough, it can be painful. But again, they have some young pieces, so that will help them in that quest if they do happen to get Ohtani. Alright, here we go. Josh Young. Tamaris, Weimer, Shimmer, Edwin Solano. That's why I said after I said Tony Gwynn, I was concerned. I was like, nah, Puckett was the Twins. Because I was trying to figure out if Gwynn was the Twins or the Padres, but yeah, Kirby. Hendry Chivoli base, mentioning the Twins. Luis Robert out of 100 on the wave. Volpe, Michael Bush, Juanipa, and nice Brailer out of 75. You're not wrong. Both guys were not on the thinner side, but man, both guys could hit the ball. Just incredible hitters. Geraldo Quintero for the Braves. Tristan Cassis, Michael Harris, Lawler, and we got orange. Nelson Rada. Come on, give us a first Bowman. Nelson Rada out of 25 on the orange for the Angels. Doesn't count if it's not a first Bowman. Come on. Yoshida. Jordan. Chris Bryant, refractor out of 499. Purple ink, Gordon Graceffo going out to the Cardinals. And Atomic Iconic, Ronald Acuna Jr. That's valid. Graceffo. Well, at this point, the Cardinals need all the help they can get in the rotation. Derniche Valdez on the shimmer. I think it's going to be interesting for me to see what the Dario Barrero base, what the Brewers do. They have. I battle back and forth on where I want the Brewers to be, because I think the Brewers are getting to a point of Ha-Seong Kim at a $4.99, Ethan Salas base chrome, and Fuchsia Josh Young at a $2.99. The Brewers are getting to a point where they're either going to have to clear house and they're either going to have to clear house and rebuild, go with the young talent they have in Mitchell, Terang, Frelick, Chorio coming up. They've got the young arm, I forget his name, Mizorowski. They got Ethan Small, Aaron Ashby, and you just build around those guys. And then once you feel like you got a shot, you go and buy. I don't know. I have this weird feeling that they're going to sit in mediocrity for too long, and then you just waste away some of those young guys. And that's my concern, because in that division, you can't really be mediocre. And I think this year, I feel like this year really showed that in the Central Division. Like, you can't be mediocre. Because, like it was supposed to be the Cardinals division, and that rotation just proved to be mediocre. And, look what happened. It wound up a race, and so I think either they're going to have to be all in or all out. There's no sense in competing to be the last team out of the, be the first team to miss the playoffs. That's just stupid. There's just no sense in doing that. Yeah, Cardinals. If the Cardinals get a rotation, the toughest thing for the Cardinals is that they have young talent, but they're two kind of superstars. They're not getting any younger, Like, how many more years do you really have of Goldschmidt putting up semi MVP type numbers? Like. Same with Arenado, because Arenado's younger than people believe, I think. But I know he's still, early 30s, mid-30s. And I know Goldschmidt's pushing, 34, 35? He might even be 36, if I remember correctly. So that's another tough piece that you wind up with the Cardinals, too. Yeah, they gotta be all in these next 3 or 4 years, or else it's just going to be scary. Well, and the thing is, too, is this year felt like one of those years for them where I think it was the wake-up call that the front office needed. For so many years they had Yachty, they had Waino. You have some of these guys that are just staples, and you know what you're getting. Well, this year you don't have Yachty, and no offense, Waino's a cool little, it's a cool final hurrah, but that guy did not deserve to be in a rotation. When you're throwing upper 80s gas in it, that's just tough these days. At a 125 Crawford, and I appreciate everything he's done, and he's been incredible throughout his career, but he is not a starter in the MLB today. So it's good to see him go. Good to end his career with St. Louis and do everything he wanted to do. But I think that hurt more than it helped. that hurt way more than it helped them. Luis Almeida at $4.99. And it's kind of the same way with Lance Lynn too. Lance Lynn's aging, and look what he did. That dude was. You might as well put him in a home run derby as the pitcher. There's just a lot of guys now, man. That at some point you see their name and you go, man, they got a guy, and you forget that they're old. Lazaro Montes out of 99, green shimmer. It's time to turn over the page. Everett Cooper the third. So, We'll see, though, once you get to spring training and you get an idea of what everybody's doing and what everybody's got coming to them. That's when it gets fun. Eduardo Escobar, blue out of 75, Venezuela. Because I believe that Churio will start the season on a big league club. I don't think that the Brewers are going to waste their chance to potentially get compensatory picks if he does well. Kind of like Seattle did with Julio. I don't think a team should ever waste that opportunity. Like the Orioles, they need to start Jackson Holiday on the big league club. Because if you bring them up mid-season and they tear it up, you get nothing. If they tear it up from the start of season and win an award, all of a sudden you're banking draft picks plus have a dude. That's gold Harry Ford. World Baseball Classic out of 50. Everett Cooper III. Well, that's ridiculous. Back to back. End of one box, start of the other one. Rainer Arias, Spencer Steer, Jacob Reimer. But we'll see. It's kind of the first full offseason that the new GM's getting to for the Brewers. So out of $4.99, D'Angelo Sarmiento. So we'll see what happens because Stearns left kind of around the beginning of the year this year. Feldman, Celestin. So we'll see what this guy's got under his sleeve. Vaquero out of $1.99. Hopefully some good stuff. I don't know. And yellow Juan Benjamin going out to the Guardians. My guess is the Brewers will wind up doing what they do every time. They'll be sitting around waiting till about March. Yeah, we'll say February. There'll be some aging vet. Out of $1.99, Drew Gilbert. There'll be some aging vet just ready to sign a one-year deal and make some cash. Kind of in that limbo of a long-term deal. And they'll sign them. That's how they always do it. Rowdy Tellez, Yasmani Grandal, Moustakas. The list goes on, and they do it every year. They're like the good luck Chuck for guys looking for a long-term deal. You go there, you play for the Brewers, and you leave, and you get a long-term deal somewhere. Just not in Milwaukee. Yeah, well, I think, truthfully, I think the Brewers farm, the Brewers farm system's ranked top 5. I think they have a lot of great guys in the farm system. Tyler Black, he'll make an impact somewhere. Mizorowski, if he gets a shot, I think he's still a little too young. You've got Ashby and Ethan Small still technically with prospect status. You got Churio, obviously. Jackson Cuero looked really good this year at the catching position. So who knows? He may be a young guy that gets called up. Hendry Mendez looked decent. Nothing to gripe about there. As like a role player type guy with some power potential. So we'll see. We shall see. Apparently, Eric Brown Jr. didn't look too bad either, which I wasn't too fascinated with that pick, but who knows? Willie Adames looked. I love Willie Adames, but this year was a I don't really like Willie Adames year. I love Willie Adames, but man, it's like sometimes you're just like, dude, just make contact one time. That's how this year felt. So, yeah, Sal was nice. Garrett Mitchell being hurt really stunk. So hopefully he'll get a good full year. The craziest part about Hedbert Perez is he is good, but there's too much swing and miss. Like, he still hits for power. He still had, I think he still had almost 20 home runs this year. And he's only 20. He's still super young, but when you have a guy like Churio pop into the farm system at 19 and the guy hits no matter where he goes. I mean, he's playing in the Dominican Winter League, and the first week he was there, all of a sudden I'm hearing about his highlights for the first week that he was there. Like, the dude just hits no matter where he's at. And so, I don't know. I'm hoping that Churio is like the Brewers, the Brewers Acuna, maybe, you know? Maybe you just get lucky and you found that guy. You found that guy that makes everything feel like just warm and fuzzy. But I don't know. We'll see. Taj, Jordan Walker. Shimmy, Jun Shook Sim. And base ink, Dario Laverde. So we'll see. I hope he starts on the big league club this year. There's no reason he shouldn't, but you know how that goes. Raymond Mola. Well, the nice part is about Churio is Churio will be coming up to get paid right about when Yelich's contract rolls off. So it's kind of one of those things where if Churio is that dude, they'll just roll that money right into Churio. Jason Dominguez, gold out of 50 for the Yankees. So that is the nice part. About that time when Churio is going to be coming up to get paid, if he winds up doing what everybody thinks he's going to do, they'll be able to roll off Yelich's contract and expenses right into Churio. Adley Rutschman. Speckle out of 299 in Manuel Bonilla. But other than that, though, the likelihood is that he plays for the Brewers, plays well, and then goes and gets paid by like the Dodgers or the Mets. It's kind of the way baseball's going nowadays. Miguel Blythe Shimmer. You have like 4 teams that are willing to actually just like fork out the checkbook. Andy Perez. Base ink. Purple, Xavier Isaac out of 250. Which is unfortunate, but until they institute like a salary cap, that's the way it's going to be. Not that I think they'll ever actually do that. I don't think they'll ever institute a salary cap. Corbin Carroll, but I could be wrong. Javier Rivas out of 199. And green ink. That looks like it might be Geloff. Nope, that's the Brewers. Robert Moore out of 99. Sorry, Brian. Totally gave you the tease there. Willie Fanas, Atomic, out of 150. Spencer Steer, Jeremy Pena out of 499. Bonilla, Jackson Churio. Man. Cases of late have been leaving a lot to desire. I am excited for draft. I think draft is going to wind up being actually pretty solid. This year's draft class was really deep. Just going to depend on a few things. Yeah, green Geloff would have been nice. All right, non-autos. We got Rivas, Willie Fanas, Bonilla, gold, Jason Dominguez, gold, Harry Ford, green Shimmer Montez, blue Escobar out of 125, Justin Crawford. Refractor Almeida, Josh Young, Fuchsia, Atomic Acuna, Wave, Luba, orange out of 25, Nelson Rada. Braylor Guerrero out of 75, Restituyo out of 150, Jacob Reimer green, Restituyo out of 150, Almeida Refractor, Ascension, Tovar, Fuchsia out of 199, Ariel Castro out of 100, Machado, Speckle, Braylor Guerrero out of 75, Gonzalez, and out of 125, Gennaro Miller. Yeah, no, I agree. It'll be interesting to see because I feel like pricing is going to start out where it usually finishes. You know, because, like, typically with draft, it starts out at, like, 350, 400, and it, like, settles around, like, 6. It's about 4,800 a case, 4,500 a case is where it usually settles. So I feel like it's going to wind up starting at that point. I don't know. We'll see. And base ink, Andy Perez, Marco Vargas, Dario Laverde, Everett Cooper III times 2, Dario Barrero, Geraldo Quintero, Hendry Chivoli, Kristen Monroe, Clark Elliott, Brian Rincon, Will Warren, and Andy Perez. Believe it or not, I don't know all the pricing on it. So that's why I say I'm still kind of not in the dark, but I don't know where it's going to go. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. A lot of it's going to depend on the product that comes too, right? Like if the product comes and you're getting case after case and they feel good and they're rolling well, very different. Price starts somewhere, you open cases and they're junk, then you get what that's what's gonna happen. So at a $4.99, we got Jarrell Ortega, Jordy Vargas, Connor Stain. At a $2.99, Brett Wisely, Juan Corniel. At a $2.50, Dario Barrero, Gordon Graceffo. At a $99, Robert Moore. And at a $75, Juan Benjamin. You're not wrong. Yeah, it's draft. Draft's always tough. But like I said, deep class, if they do it the right way, the Bowman products can be very, very enjoyable. Even if they're not the greatest cases, it just, you have to have it. You can't have cases massively loaded with base autos. That's the issue. But anyway, going out to the Braves. We got 2 Braves cards, actually. We got green, Ronald Acuna Jr. out of 99. And nice image variation, Michael Harris. Going out to Frank Manny. Congrats on the mini win there. Going out to the A's, a little out of $2.99, Clark Elliott. Going out to Mr. Barr, another mini win. Going out to the Rangers and Frank Manny, a little orange shimmer out of 25, Yossi Galan. Going out to the Royals, nice little gold mini diamonds out of 50, Jack Pineda. Going out to Levi Lutz. Orioles, nice little Adley Rutschman image variation. Going out to Brett Zeiss. And last but not least, got a little dust going on because it was put on the stand first. Got a little blue out of 75, Shohei Ohtani on the World Baseball Classic. Going out to the Angels and Shannon Dieter. All right, guys, that is it for our Bowman Chrome. That'll be it for tonight as we are pretty far off on everything else. I will still be breaking tomorrow. We'll be breaking from home, so it will be a little bit different environment, but nothing too wild. Still the same cards, same hands, and same fire. So we'll see you all tomorrow. As always, thanks for hanging out here at Best Card Breaks.